Breakfast with KXVU.
Trickstar Radio.
Let's get into a conversation which I've been looking forward to actually. Since you brought it up a couple of weeks ago when we were talking through topics we were going to talk about. We are going to look at building a studio now. This is something you're in the middle of at the moment.
Yeah.
So why is this happening essentially?
I kind of just distractions basically in the house, in my own house, if you know what I mean. So I thought I always seem to make better tunes and like kind of put more effort in when I'm in someone else's studio. We have to specifically go there. So I had the idea, I'm building a studio so I can kind of treat it more like a job and kind of go there in the morning. And when I'm finished, you know what I mean, it's finished and it's break time and kind of just get some proper hours into it, if you know what I mean. That's kind of the long run, yeah.
Definitely, I agree with that. I think with anything, you have to, if you want it to be a job, you have to treat it like a job.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
You know what I mean. That's like the go-to phrase on this sort of thing. So when you say like building a studio, like how big are we talking here?
I can't tell you off the top of my head with a square foot, but it's we're gonna have like a decent sized control room, vocal booth, a deck room downstairs, a bit of an office, and we've got like a kitchen. It's in a warehouse kind of thing. I'm building it out of offices in a warehouse. It's really kind of hard to imagine, but it's.
But still, it sounds like it's quite like a big amount of space.
Yeah. It's a decent sized place. Yeah, it's not it's a similar size to my house, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you put them all kind of on top of each other. Yeah.
I like this. I mean, it sounds wicked, man. So when you've been doing this, like, is this a project you're doing pretty much by yourself, or have you got other people involved with you?
A lot of my mates, like Carlisle, there's not very much. Like, there's no pirate studios. There's no. I've got to travel 30 miles to go to a studio if I don't want to use my bedroom. Like, and I've kind of been doing that quite a bit recently. So a lot of my friends basically, they kind of know they're going to benefit from it. So they've all just kind of been offering up the services, and which I've been like gladly happy to accept.
So what have been the kind of like the biggest like issues you faced when putting stuff together?
Soundproofing, basically. Like, it's a bit of a minefield. You could spend hundreds of thousands on it. It's just researching the products and like finding the specific the densities, basically, because it's got like the boards and stuff have got to be kind of different densities to kind of block the sound, rather than loads of the same boards put together, and little things like that. You could stack like 5 boards together, it probably wouldn't do anything, but then if you create an air gap and stuff in things, and then add like the proper soundboard, like the air gap takes it away, and then the actual soundboard's like another X amount of decibels as well. It's really mad. There's
a real kind of science behind the whole process and stuff, because obviously the majority of people who will be making music in their bedrooms, like with maybe a couple of panels in the corners and stuff like that at maximum, but basically 2 monitors and a screen. So like when you're putting, like, how are you finding out how to do all this? Is it stuff you previously knew? Have you studied it, or is it just like working out as you go? Kind
of a bit of working out as you go. I've got like a bit of a rough plan, and it's just like researching specific ideas like YouTube and specific things. There's a acoustic. There's a channel, Acoustic something, on YouTube. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but basically they've got proper scientific videos on pretty much everything, and it's like a crazy American scientist guy, and he gives you the rundown on everything, all the myths. Like they say like carpet and rubber and all that's kind of good for it. It's all a myth. So like,
what is good? What are some of the maddest myths that you've seen then?
Just like using rubber pellets and like you can mulch tires and stuff, and that's meant to work, and just stupid stuff like that, like putting underlay and stuff and just filling it with anything. But apparently, like, rather than filling it, creating a gap in between the walls a lot better than stuffing it with. People just think you stuff it with something, it deadens the sound basically, and like creating an air gap basically spreads it along the wall, basically, just having that gap there, so it kind of kills a lot of the sound. But yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, this is stuff that obviously like a lot of people will want to know, because obviously, as I said,
egg boxes don't work actually as well. Sorry.
Egg boxes don't work.
That's a myth. They do not work.
Officially, do not work.
They spread the sound maybe slightly, but they don't do anything.
Very interesting. I need to get rid of that big box I've got at home. Then. I've literally got when I was chefing, I've still got like a box of like 20 industrial egg boxes that are there just in case I needed them. But then when you look at all this like foam paneling and stuff, you can buy in like sets. I've heard recently that does literally nothing as well.
It's just for the high end, basically, really, isn't it? That's all that's for. It's for you've got the sub traps and stuff like that. It's for the pressure in the room. The base is the pressure. It kills a lot of that. But like all like it's all top end diffusion, all like kind of like normal. The egg carton type foam. It's just all diffusion basically for the high end frequencies.
Very interesting. Like it's just an interesting project to look at, because obviously it's quite a common thing to hear. Oh yeah, we're renovating the studio, we're building the studio at the moment, but you never really get to speak to people whilst they're in the process of doing it. It's almost like before and after. So yeah, like what's been the funnest part of it so far?
I don't know, just kind of chilling with my mates and just having a bit of a laugh. It's like it's work, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? We just kind of build it, we put our tunes on, and just sit and kind of work through it. It's a different focus to the music side of things, if you know what I mean. And then it's like just can't wait to get it set up. It's going to be class. Like, you know, it's just.
Man. I like to hear this, man. It sounds like it's a project you're enjoying as much as anything as well.
Definitely.
Right, we're going to get into this one next from Doc Z. This one is the remix of Marley by MOB. We're going to get into this one, then have a chat about it afterwards. It's just gone 35 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar.
Waking up Brighton.
Breakfast with Cobb Colville.